Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Just Love podcast.
I'd just like to say, our gang is growing. We have 10 subscribers. That's 4 more than our last podcast had, so I'm just saying.
We're blowing up.
Fastest growing channel on YouTube right now, guys.
That's right.
4 subscribers.
Fastest growing.
I'm expecting 100 by the end of the week. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's just kick this off this way. What kind of shoes does the Tooth Fairy wear?
Wait, hold on. I got this.
You got this. Come on.
I don't know. Why was I thinking of Converse? That's what I was talking. That doesn't make any sense, but that's
The
what I was thinking.
Tooth Fairy wears sneakers. Because she sneaks around and steals
Okay, I would
teeth.
have never gotten that.
Oh, man, you could have gotten that.
That one's lame.
Whatever. Anyway, we kicked this off with a good old dad joke that fell flat.
Wait, hold on. I got one. What is a Tooth Fairy's favorite candy?
Oh, no.
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears?
Like gums, like in your mouth.
Oh, gosh. Jeez.
That one made more sense than sneakers.
Oh, whatever.
Okay.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Like sitting right here?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, good job.
Oh, thanks.
Usually when you make up jokes. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, anyways.
So, this is a big event for us. This is our 5th anniversary.
I'm gonna cry.
And before you think this is our 5th, like, yearly anniversary, this is just our 5th episode.
5th podcast. We've been doing this since...
Oh, I don't know when our first episode dropped.
I don't know.
Do you remember?
No.
Anyway, we could probably look it up, but yeah, it's probably been at least 5 months. Probably 7.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Has it been 5 months?
Yeah, exactly 5 months.
Nice.
Not exactly on the day, but like
Oh.
5 months ago was, what, October?
Yeah. We're going to have to pick our game up. I think our 10 subscribers need us more than once a month.
Have we been doing it once a month?
I mean,
yeah.
5th episode, 5
Yeah.
months.
You know. Yeah. We should pick it up, probably.
We should pick it up.
Yep. All right, let's just get right into it, because we've got a lot to cover today.
Oh, boy. All right. So what are we going to talk about today?
Race.
Like
skin color.
not like putting on our sneakers and racing.
Sneakers. No.
Sneakers. Yeah. This could be a touchy subject.
Yes. Yeah, but it's Black History Month. We thought, why not
Yeah.
spice it up a bit?
Because there's been a lot of discussion about race this month.
Especially in a biracial home like ours.
Yeah.
There's definitely, I feel like biracial people probably see both sides of it.
We're in an interesting position.
Spot.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you kick it off with your verse today to kind of open us up into the issue of race?
Okay. Just gonna pull it up here. Okay, here's my verse. But anyone who hates a brother or sister is in the darkness and walks around in the darkness. They do not know where they are going because the darkness has blinded them. John 2:11.
Okay. Tell me why you picked that verse.
Okay, I picked that verse because in the end, our soul has no race, and that is who God knows us as. He obviously knows our physical form too, but like in the end, we're all just like souls, and they don't have races. They're just, God created us in His image, and God is not white or black or Asian or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's just God. So
Yeah.
we need to look past race and just see each other as human beings. So yeah, that's why I picked that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good intro into our subject about race. Because there's a lot of animosity about race, it feels like.
What does animosity mean?
It means like it builds up a lot of hard feelings.
Like controversy?
Yeah, anger, controversy, sensitivity.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I would say, is with for very good reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're approaching this discussion about race from more of a biblical kind of
Yeah.
standpoint because
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters, and it also seems like something that will never be solved. All the anger, but I feel like if people looked at it from a biblical standpoint, maybe we'd have a better chance.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We're not trying to tell people that their beliefs on it are wrong. We're just sharing our opinion. So
Yeah.
don't take this like we're telling you guys what to do. We're just sharing how we feel about it.
Yep. So with that said, we're going to talk about kind of our personal experiences from the perspective of race. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Okay.
Because I need time to think.
Okay. So obviously, I grew up years ago, and so race was a little bit different for me back growing up as a kid, at least. I would say I could feel some of the race anxiety in my parents and my grandparents because they lived through, like segregation and things like that. Maybe not my parents, but my grandparents definitely did.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, I was from somewhat of a mixed home. So it was interesting for me in school. We definitely didn't talk about race the way that I feel like kids today talk about race in school.
Yeah.
And probably because it was just something you just didn't, that was not a playful subject that you could joke about, really. I mean, there was little jokes here and there about the kind of food you ate or, some of your cultural habits and things like that. But man, the things you guys come home from school and tell me they talk about at school.
Yeah.
Whew. Interesting.
Yeah.
What else was interesting? Yeah, and it's interesting when you're mixed because there's always this like, which race do I support or feel myself closer to?
I feel like more so for like you than for me because I am less than half black, but like for you, it's probably like you're too black for some people and too white for other people. Like,
yeah,
especially like more like a while ago when it was just like in schools, it's just like, like the black people hung out with the black people just because that's who like they hung out with, and the white people hung out with the white. It was just like how it was.
Yeah.
Unspoken kind of thing. So it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, that wasn't, at least for me growing up, I went to a private school, and so African Americans were very, very heavy in the minority in my school. And so all of us knew each other, and, you kind of bonded over the fact that you had some shared similarities.
Yeah.
Your background and how you were raised and how your parents, through the generations have been raised. But also, like, most all of my closest friends were white because that's just kind of the environment I was in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was interesting.
Okay, and then
tell me about yours.
Experience with race is probably, I'd say, okay, the main thing I'm going to focus on is, like, the fact that, I have more, like, I'm not fully white, but I look fully white, so, like, I mean, I don't go around yelling, I'm mixed, whatever. But, like, it plays a role in some conversations that I could have or, like, things I hear around school. So, like, when people, like, and also the fact that, like, both of my, like, or not both of my grandparents on my dad's side are fully black. So it's, like, just because he's mixed doesn't mean that, like, like, I don't know how to explain it. So, yeah, probably just that, like, people don't assume that I have like the same experiences that like a 50-50 mixed person would, but like in some ways I do, some ways I obviously don't. But like I don't look mixed like at all.
Sure.
So,
yeah, you're probably a lot like me where for me, because my skin is a little bit darker, the first question people would always ask me in school is, what are you? And I'd be like, question. I'm a person. I'm an American. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to have people ask you that as a first question. Like we're very obsessed about what people are,
Yeah.
rather than just like,
Like, I'm Brooklyn, he's Jay. Like,
yeah.
it's not.
It'd be like if I always went up to somebody that had a different haircut than me and I'd be like, what are you? Like, what hairstyle are you proclaiming?
I don't know.
Like, who cares? I'm just another person like you.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So now we got that part out of the way.
Let's do some question and answer
Yeah. So
with
these
each
are
other.
kind of open-ended questions that we've come up with. We're just gonna read them off and then we'll discuss them as come along. And yeah. So.
Sure.
All right. You can go first.
All right. What do you think is good about having different races?
I think that it allows people to, I don't know, like it allows like kind of community, whereas like in good ways and in bad ways, because like for example, like black students at my school will tend to be friends with other black people just because those are the people that have shared experiences. And like I think having those like little communities and like in school and stuff, well, like we should all be friends, but I'm just saying like at least having a couple friends that are like the same race as you is like nice because they like know what you're going through and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to have different opinions from different perspectives, right? Like I wouldn't want to have all just guy friends because then I would never be sympathetic or empathetic to females because I don't know any females. I never talk to any females. Like how could I appreciate so
yeah.
Mixing kind of race and gender there a little bit, but
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what makes teams good, right? Like sports teams.
Yeah.
You've got different peoples with different skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So you want me to ask the next question?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. This is a controversial one. Can you be racist to white people?
Can you be racist to white people? And you pulled that out because we've asked this question before. This question's come up, right?
Like just in our house, yeah.
Yeah.
This question comes up a lot.
And not because we don't see eye to eye on this answer, but because I think the question came up in school maybe or something. My answer has been and always will be, of course you can be racist to white people.
Yeah.
Being racist is not a one-way street. I mean, racism is defined as, I'm not going to define it because I'll mess it up.
Yeah.
But racism is usually, I mean, in our culture is looked at as, white people maybe looking down on or treating black people in ways, that they shouldn't. But it happens the other way too. Yeah. It's a two-way street.
You don't see it as much, but it happens.
It sure does. Yeah. Yeah. So the answer to that is yes.
Simple answer. Yes.
Yep. Simple.
Right. Next question.
All right. I'll bring one back to you. All right. This is going to be, well, we kind of already talked about this. What are your experiences as a mixed child? So like, how's your experience different than a white friend of yours or a black friend of yours or Hispanic or Asian?
Okay. This is definitely not just mixed people or just black people that have to do this, but I'm just saying as for me and my white friends, like I have to do more with my hair than like my white friends do. And like, yeah, I think I'm more conscious of my hair. Like I don't like my hair as much as like my friends would like their hair. Like I don't know how to explain it. Of course, it's not every mixed kid or every white kid. It just is like for me. Like all my friends, they just like kind of just wash their hair and they're fine. But, like I have all these stuff I have to put in it and like all that kind of stuff. That's probably like the main thing between me and my friends is like my hair.
So that's a difference.
Yeah.
In one of your experiences, yeah.
Yeah.
And
interesting. Like when I was younger, and like I had all these friends with like stick straight hair, or not. I guess when I was like super young, probably like actually last year. I like was straightening my hair so much because I just wanted to have like stick straight hair like all my friends.
Yeah.
Because like I used to have really straight hair, but now my hair's like really curly. So yeah, like yeah, I just wanted. Yeah, I don't know if I. Anyways, your turn.
That's okay. And it's funny because, like, even us now, we walk around schools and stuff, and we see certain people with like really big, like unique hair, and we're always like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my gosh, that hair is so cool."
Yeah, like yesterday at a
Yeah,
choir concert,
yeah,
we
yeah,
saw
yes,
somebody and his hair
yeah,
was beautiful. It was
yeah.
so curly. It was,
And so, not that this is an advice podcast, but hopefully, like, you learn to embrace and love your hair for what it
yeah,
is, and not want it to look like anybody else's, because it's yours and you own it.
yeah.
God gave it to you, and it's beautiful.
Mhm.
I like your hair.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else that's different experiences? What about when you have to fill out, maybe you haven't had to do this a lot, but in my experience, if you have to fill out a form and it's like, what race are you? Black, white, um,
Other.
Indian,
Yeah.
or Hispanic?
I'm like,
And it only lets you check one. What do you do?
I check in between black and white.
Do you really?
No, I've never had to do that, but usually if I do have to do that, it's like it's a writing thing. You just like write it down.
Yeah.
But like that is kind of hard because I'm not like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
The simple answer to tell people if they ask my race, I just say I'm mixed. But
Yeah.
then people that know me that like either don't like me or like she thinks she's more black than she is, or like she's like, well, you're this percent, whatever. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I really don't. I'm not ashamed of what percent I am black or what
Mm-hmm.
percent I am white. I don't care. I just like it's
Yeah.
annoying when people like correct me. I'm like, I know I am,
Right.
but you know.
It's interesting you say that. That is definitely a difference between my experience and your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is kids never played like the percentage game or how much of this
Yeah.
or how much of that. It's so like,
Yeah.
I feel like people are so sensitive, or kids are so sensitive now to like how much of something you can claim and how much you can't. And at the end of the day, it's like, who
Like,
cares? What does it matter to you?
Yeah, and I also don't walk around school saying like, I'm black. I'm not black. So like, what does it matter? Like, there's some mixed people in my school that will tell people that they're black, and I'm like, but you're not though. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you say you're just mixed. If you're more, or if you're like more white than black, like that's fine.
Right.
Just don't tell people you're one or the other because you're not. You're a mix of both, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and some people, it's interesting because I think they identify, if they're a complete, like, down the middle, 50-50,
Mm-hmm.
they'll claim whichever they identify more with. So
Yeah, so like darker mixed
like,
people will be like, yeah, I'm black,
yeah,
but it's like, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just like I don't get that because like I'm not fully white, so I can't just
Right.
like claim fully white because then there's gonna be people that's like, you're not fully white, you can't claim that you're fully white, and I'm obviously not black. Like
Right.
you guys see on the cover of our podcast, I'm obviously not black.
yeah.
So like, yeah.
And so obviously at my age, I've had to click a lot of those boxes or check a lot of those boxes on what race I am. And you
Yeah.
know what I pick most often?
What?
Other, or refuse to answer.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, it's like, all you want this information for, usually, unless it's like in a medical scenario,
Yeah.
is just for statistics.
Yeah. So I was gonna say.
Like you want to be able to show a graph that shows this and that, and it's like, if you don't give me the ability to really check what I am, then for one, I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
But two, like, what does it really matter?
And it doesn't change. Like if you're applying to work at McDonald's and they
Yeah.
ask for your race, it doesn't matter. Like you're still gonna be able to do the job the exact same. So why
Right.
should we have to click a box if I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again goes to our world's obsession about race. And I wonder if that's just in America, or I don't know what other nations do, or what their experience is. So for all of our international subscribers,
Right.
leave in the comments
Leave in the comments.
what your experience is.
Yeah, because they don't have like not that they don't have, but like majority of people in like India or
Mm-hmm.
like those like Asia, like they don't have like just black and white. They have like I mean we don't have just black and white, but those are our two main like races in America.
And we're such a melting pot, so
Yeah,
it's just kind of different here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
I think that was your question, right?
Yeah. So your
Yeah.
turn to ask.
Okay. How has racism changed over the years?
Racism. I think, like I mentioned before, like there were some subjects you just didn't touch or mess with when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It just wasn't talked about as much. And I think I was thinking about this earlier. I feel like now it's talked about more, which makes it much more sensitive because it is such a tough topic. So I was thinking about it in terms of like a wound that you have on your skin, right?
Yeah.
If you get cut and you just kind of leave it alone and don't mess with it,
Yeah.
it's just there. And if it hurts, you just kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start trying to fix the problem, maybe you pour some alcohol on it or do something,
it hurts more.
it hurts a lot. And you have to hurt a little bit before you can heal.
Yeah.
And I feel that's kind of where we're at right now. There's a lot of things that are coming to the forefront, a lot of discussions that are being had, and it feels like it's super painful some days and sometimes. But I think that's hopefully the beginning of healing if we ever can get to that point.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think it's changed by like the littlest of things that have nothing to do with race. People will claim as racist at our school, like, for example, like this has, like, I'm not calling anybody out at our school or whatever, but like people will get in trouble. Like, say it's a black student that gets in trouble for doing something. They're like, oh man, the school system's racist, but it's like you still did the thing.
Right.
So it's not racist because they're not basing it just on your race.
Yeah.
So like, but then like back probably like when you were a little kid, like racism was not taken so like, it wasn't just a word that you throw around. Like when things were actually racist, they were racist, but when they weren't, it was just like, oh, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get attention sometimes now. Even though 100% racism 100% still exists.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think maybe in some circles that term gets thrown out a little bit too loosely, where it shouldn't. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue to my last question for you, which is tell me about your perspective of race relations in your school or like kind of just in the community.
Yeah. Okay. So, this isn't really for me because I'll explain that in a minute. But like a lot of people at our school, their group of friends is all the same race as them. Like the black girls at our school are only friends with black girls, and like they talk to white people, but like they just like they sit at a lunch table with only black people, and the same thing for like white people. Of course, there's exceptions. Like people sit with, like mixed tables or whatever. But like my table at least is like very what's the word? Like diverse, I guess.
Oh,
could
yeah.
be the word. Like I think there's me who's a little bit less than 50% black, and then there's like 2 girls that are 50%. There's 2 white people. There's one that's 100%. Like, yeah, it's just like it's not just white people or just black people or just 50-50. Like it's it's pretty diverse in terms of like black and white. I don't. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't. When I was in school at your age, I think the thing that went above and beyond race was I was involved in sports as a kid, and my closest friends, I've got close friends that are black, close friends that are white, and we don't talk about it. It's not. I mean, we may make a joke here and there, but like those are my brothers, and we're all we kind of all grew up with the same mindset from a faith perspective, and I think things like that, and you can see that like in sports, like in the NFL and stuff, like those guys come together as a team for one purpose, and they don't really let race kind of.
They're there for football, not for whatever.
Right.
They're for soccer, not whatever.
Yeah.
Love you, uncles.
Shout out to the uncles.
Shout out to the uncles.
And I just wish people would do that more. Is let's rally behind some purposes in this world rather than getting in our race corners, Yeah. Or just overly fixating on that.
And that's exactly why we don't have a black soccer team and a white soccer team and an Asian soccer team all in America, because we're all there, just like play together and like it's that's a good one.
All right, hit me with the last one.
Okay. Do you experience racism?
Do I experience racism? I don't feel like I have a ton, at least in my adult years. I have over my lifespan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been called the N-word before. I think I told you that when I was a little kid. That was very, very memorable, even to this day.
Traumatic. Which is why in our household, even though, like, theoretically, due to like whatever, he could, if he wanted to, theoretically say the N-word, but he doesn't because that word has been used to hurt him before. So,
right. That's the cultural rule seems to be that if you're black, you can use that word. But
even
I think
50% makes people at my school say the N-word all the time, and I'm like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
And what's kind of been our rule in the house about that word?
Don't say it.
Yeah, period. Regardless if you're 100% or 0%.
Not in normal life. Not if you're saying it to a friend to be nice. Like, never. It's not a good word.
If it's not okay for one person to say, it's not okay for anybody to say. That's kind of, and that's not a race decision. That's a biblical decision. That's a very hurtful word.
Yeah.
And there's just no way you turn that into a
slang word.
A slang like, hey brother word or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then I'll answer that question for myself is, I would say no, because the stuff that I experienced that some people would classify as racism isn't racist. It's genuine curiosity or confusion about my race or what I am or whatever. Like, it's not racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Are you proud of who you are as
for sure.
Yeah. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
And I think kind of the idea of in our household at least, is that like God made each one of us, and we look at it from that perspective. And I don't know, has God made any mistakes that you're aware of?
And me?
Just a period in all of creation. Yeah, I don't think so either. So if he made me 73-27, yeah, 73-27 or 50-50 or 14-86, yeah, I scored again.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter because that was God's reasoning. He's the maker, and he's perfect. So
we're all American.
That's why we need to just get past some of these discussions.
Yep.
Even though this is usually your thing, I pulled the Bible verse too, because I think if we were ever going to solve race, anger, and all that stuff, I think it has to be from a position of forgiveness, because there's so much that's happened in the past over race that has been extremely hurtful and terrible. Mm-hmm. But I think, we're probably never going to forget that stuff. We shouldn't. We should remember history so it doesn't repeat itself.
Yeah.
But at some point, we've got to learn to forgive so that we can heal that wound, right?
Yeah, because, like my white friends were not the exact people who enslaved black people, and my black friends were not the ones being the slaves. So
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's time to start anew. Yep. So the Bible verse I pulled is from Ephesians. It's Ephesians 4:31 and 32, and it says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you." Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness.
Yep.
Let's do it.
That's what God's all about.
That's right.
All right. Well.
Wow. That was fast. That was a lot of stuff in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So what else? 5th episode, down in the books.
Oh, we forgot to tell you, we got new microphones. So if this sounds then that's why.
Yeah, so, hopefully our sound quality comes out. We're like rocking some cool gear right now.
I think we're gonna try putting some shorts out, maybe.
A little teaser there.
Little teaser there.
Get you guys excited.
Yep, the 10 of you that actually watch these podcasts.
No, hey, we're about to blow up.
Yeah, for real.
10. Put some extra zeros on that in a minute.
Yeah. A
milli. All right, slow down.
Watch out, Mr. Beast.
All right. Well.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.